Cool. So Miss Casey's on her back, and we're going to set this up for mount. All right. Now, real quick, I want to point out the difference between like a regular hook and what I call a tension hook. So a regular hook is just me kind of making like a grapevine on her leg here. Whereas a tension hook is more, I'm actually going here and I'm straightening the leg. I can't do it on that side because she's got a hurt hip. But switch sides with me really quick. So I make a hook, and I kind of slide my knee high up on the other side to clear room, and I actually kind of straighten them. Notice that it actually kind of takes her leg inside, right? Brings her knee inside. If her knee stays up, keep your knee up as best you can. It locks her leg in this really, this works really well, especially on people that are not that flexible. It really puts a ton of tension on her hip, and that actually, once I get that locked out at that angle right there, is super hard to get that loose. It's harder to get loose than you think. You almost have to use your hands to help get it loose. And if you're using your hands away from your neck, it gives me an option of attacking the neck. It also makes it, she can no longer oompa me that way to roll me at all. There's no way she'll break her own hip. The only way she can roll me is this way. So if I combine that with certain things, it makes it super hard for her to be able to move me from here. So I just wanted you guys to understand what a tension hook was. That way you guys will understand what I'm going to be using it for. Okay? So let's go back to the other side. So we're here. What I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start making just a grapevine on the opposite side. I'm not straightening my leg out and creating tension with it quite yet. I'm just making a hook with it. Okay. Now on this side, what I'm going to do is, instead of doing my Americana the old school way where we push it down here and start attacking like this, what I want to do is I want to get my entire body turned at 45 and my head on the floor. I'm going to leave my head up for a little bit so you guys can hear me, but just keep in mind my head would actually be on the floor. What I'm looking for is anytime the person makes an overhook on my arm to try to break my arm down and roll me. Yeah, so anytime she tries to make an overhook. It can also be from when the arm is here and maybe I swim it to get it to here. Either way is acceptable. Okay. Now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be leaning my body across, putting both arms on this same side. I'm not going to hug the head. I'm going to bring both arms on the same side. Her arm is going to stay down. She's going to be trying to kind of hug with it because otherwise she knows that arm's in danger. That's a common response. Because if the arm goes straight and it's just kind of floating out here, obviously there's like the old school straight arm lock that can be done, right? And it's over with. So most people, when this happens, this is the response you get. They kind of curl the arm, yeah, right? Almost like they're trying to lock their hands together. Both arms on this same side. Again, keep in mind my head would be down, and I'm making a tension hook with my left leg on the back side. My leg is almost completely straight. My head is on the floor. Now from here, I'm going to grab the back of my head. That's super important so she has no chance of escaping this. I'm going to cup her arm, and I'm going to roll my shoulder towards the floor, and it's actually going to force her arm up into the angle of the Americana here. Right? Now from this point, I just put my head near it. Because my hand is already on my head, it's very easy to find that wrist. Right? Now from here, I slide my elbow in. My other hand is already inside to grab my own wrist. Now the reason that's so effective is because, and then from here, of course, we would paintbrush the hand, lift the elbow, and get your tap. Okay. Now the reason that's so effective is because in general, one of the problems with the Americana is you get it pushed down, and then while you're under here messing with it, she's bucking and ooping and rolling all over the place. It's really hard to keep this grip and keep control of her at the same time. She makes a big oompa, yeah, and starts framing inside my armpit. It makes it really difficult to hang on to that. The advantage of this position is, so hug my body again, just like you had before. Yep, we make a tension hook on the opposite side. Both elbows are on this side and my head is on the floor, and my tension hook is almost completely straight, okay? So now, once I'm in this position, it makes it super difficult for her to go anywhere, right? It makes it really difficult for her to shrimp that way because I have such a tight grip on this arm, okay? And it's almost impossible for her to oompa and roll me this way. She can't really roll to either side. So she's biting down with the arm. She doesn't want it to go anywhere. Head's on the floor, hands on the back of my head. I don't want to be here. Because if I roll and then just try to grab, Sometimes she'll beat me to it, and she'll pummel this hand through. She'll circle it back under my armpit, and now I've got to fight to get it back. Okay? Even if that happens, it's not the end of the world. All I need is that. Once I've got that underhook, I'm ready to go. Hand on this side, head on the floor, hand on the back of my head. Tension hook on the opposite side. Your body should be kind of bladed at a 45. I don't want to be here. Off at a 45. Now there's no way she can roll to her left. Try to roll to your left and open me. No way. Try to get on your side and trip away from me. No way. Try to roll me that way. No way. Completely stuck. Right? Now from here I roll her arm to me into that Americana position. Huh?
Very painful.
Try to roll her arm to me in that Americana position. I don't let my head up to try to find it. That's when I'm going to lose the hand. I bring my head over. Now I can find that wrist very easily. There was no chance of her arm pummeling through and escaping because of that. Now I pull the arm to me. I don't want to try to connect my hands together here because my hands are far away. I bring the arm towards her head. Then I can shoot the hand up inside. Now there's different things we can do with the wrist. Some people like to roll the wrist out and then get rid of their thumb grip. That's a really nasty variation. Some guys like to roll the wrist in. Both work. I just kind of like to keep it flat. You can play with it, see which one you like. I like to roll it until the wrist is completely flat. Over top of my own wrist, again, I don't like to use my thumbs. Head goes down, protect your eyes just for self-defense in case they try to reach over and grab your eyeballs from that side. Right? Head stays down. I'm going to paintbrush the arm like I'm trying to make her elbow touch her own hip bone. Then I'm going to lift the elbow up off the floor to finish. Okay? So one last time. Again, this can be off of her trying to circle the arm. Boom. Or it can be off of me digging an underhook. Here. Tension hook on the opposite side. It's just a normal grapevine to start with. Now my arms move to this side and I collapse. Now it becomes a tension hook on this opposite side. Sometimes you can get your leg completely straight. Sometimes not completely. Just depends. Hug my body with it. Here. Both arms on this side. Do not go here. Grab your head. Close your elbow. Now from here, all my weight goes into my shoulder and I roll her arm. That turns her arm into that perfect Americana position. I bring my head to her arm. I find the wrist. Now I pull her arm towards her head and my elbow goes down in that little section right in there between her ear and her shoulder. Now I can bring my hand through and find my own wrist. My eyes stay down just for self-defense. I pull my elbow towards her hip, and then I lift to finish. Okay? And then we've got some combinations we can hit off of that. Okay? If it's just not working and we're still not able to get the tap, which we'll get to next. Okay?